good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxshire, on the show tonight. It's Linda and Bridgeman. Evening, boys and girls.
Evening, Oxshire. Evening, Bridgeman. Evening, everyone. I hope you're all keeping well.
Well, can I say a huge good evening to you too, and welcome tonight there, Linda. And I've got a big welcome to all the guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
And welcome back for your holidays, Linda. What do you want, Bridge? Do you want peppermint or aniseed flavour? Rock?
Oh, you know, that's tough. Can I have one each?
I'll give you. That would leave me with nothing.
Oh, no, you can have both then. You can have both.
What do you want, aniseed or peppermint?
My preference would be peppermint.
Right, you can have that one, the pink one, that suits you. Right?
Pink one, oh God almighty.
Fox is one of the big dummy tits, suits him. He's in a huff. He keeps getting ridiculed about the music, so he can suck away in that all night, keep him happy. Thank you, Linda, much appreciated.
You're very welcome. Did you get the new coffee mugs?
I did, and there was a pen in my mind, my lady on it, and I keep turning it upside down, but nothing's happening. Is that what's meant to happen?
Oh, that must be broken then. I thought yours just said youngster on it, and Bridgeman's just said 1-0. I thought those were very, very
Oh, brilliant.
I think we'll use them. We'll use them as we go in, Bridge. They're nice, aren't they?
Absolutely. I'm happy.
Thanks very much, Linda. You've set standards here that the rest will have to beat.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
Right, and what about the football? Did you catch any while you were on the Big Dipper or that?
Well, no, I listened to a couple of I listened to one of the shows as well.
Just the one?
Just the one, yes. I think I listened to the first night when you had, was it Port Bear and Young GB were on. So I thought that was quite funny.
Oh, the quiz.
The quiz, yes. But during the international break, I didn't see a lot of it, Ox. It just seemed to drag on, to be honest with you. So it's really nice just to have Rangers back. And I quite enjoyed the game. Well, enjoyed the result on the St Johnstone game. The overall performance wasn't possibly the best, but just getting that victory was the main thing, wasn't it?
Don't talk to Port Bear about the quiz, mate. He's had to get fillers for his tap lip to match the rest of his bottom lip trembling.
I thought Bridge did quite well.
Yes, he did.
Monday night. He did very well.
What was Jim Baxter's wife's name again, Bridge?
Jean Ferguson.
Well done. Aye, Bridge was his top man, but Skipper just came in and blitzed everybody, Bridge, didn't he?
Aye, but it's still a bit shocker, you know. You don't know what he was doing. What kind of... I don't know.
Well, put it this way. He would have won, but no, honestly, Bridge, would he?
Well, some folks
kind
say
of
that about
seating in it.
I can't say too much because I like him, you know. But,
I love him.
But you know, it's questions. Questions can be asked, can't they?
I used to have a lot of jewellery, and every time I met Skipper, something disappears.
Oh, Skipper is getting on to you, pal.
Well, listen, I'll tell you what we've got, Linda. We've got the interview for the day's press conference, some good and bad news coming out of it. We'll have that, and then we want to talk about it. And then I think Linda's want to make a point about Alfredo Morelos and this guy Dumbelli. I can't remember him. Can you? I can't remember him.
Nah, didn't do much.
No, and then
he was all right against the pretty on centre halves, wasn't he?
Aye, when he was playing against Waynes, he was all right. Aye, shouldn't say that. Really, should have. Might upset some people, right? And then we'll look at that. And then there's something else that's come up with David. We really looked at. Let's get the press conference, see the news that comes out of it, and then we can talk about some of the things we talked about before the show. Get yourself a mute. Let's hear from your gaffer, Stephen George Gerrard.
What's your opinion about the kind of tough start Lyon's had in the French league? And do you think that gives you more of a chance or better chances? And the second question, I'll ask the second question just after.
Okay. I think first and foremost, when a new manager comes into a team, it takes time to build a system, a way of playing. It takes time for the players and the manager to get used to each other. I think Lyon have high-level players. I think it's a big club. I think a club that should be in the Champions League, in my opinion. They've also got a very experienced manager. So we're under no illusions how tough this game is, and we've got big respect for the team that we're going to be playing tomorrow.
Second question was probably a more personal question. What can you tell us about Gérard Houllier and your kind of relation with Gérard Houllier? Because I don't know if you know, but his last club was Lyon.
Yes, I'm very much aware of Gérard's career. He's a man who I've got a lot of admiration and respect for. He gave me my big opportunity at Liverpool to play for the first team. It was a really sad day for myself from a personal point of view when he passed, and I wish more than nothing else that he was at tomorrow's game. He was someone who followed my career all the way through as a player and also as a manager, and the amount of education and knowledge I've had from that man is unbelievable. So I hope he's watching down tomorrow, and he's really proud of both teams.
Hi Stephen, could we have the squad update for tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's basically as it was. Obviously, Phil Hollander will be missing. Phil's had surgery in the last 24, 48 hours to fix an issue that they spotted when they went inside to have a look. So he'll be missing for the foreseeable future. The rest are as it was. So we're in good health besides Phil.
Stephen, sad news about Philly, but I just wonder how you think that leaves you in terms of cover at the back. I'm presuming there's no avenue for Nikola Katic to come back.
No, and I even if I had the opportunity to bring Nico back, I wouldn't make that decision, because that would be very selfish from me, because Nico's at a stage where he needs to play and play regularly now to get back to his level. So I think Nico's in the best place for that. I'm confident we've got the right amount of cover, assuming we don't have any more issues. Obviously, Connor Goldson comes back and is available for tomorrow. We've also got certain players that can fill into this position as well, if needs be. So at the moment, it's obviously disappointing not to have Phil available, but we'll manage.
Can I just double check quickly, Stephen, on Yanis Hadji? What's the update there?
Well, we're having conversations at the moment to try and get him back as soon as possible. I think after the news of the Scottish Government have made in the last 24 hours to allow players in who have been in red countries, we're trying to get Yanis back as soon as possible. So there's conversations going as we speak, but obviously out of my control. So unfortunately, I haven't got a day or an exact time he'll be here, but from my point of view, I need him back as quick as possible.
I just asked you as well about Alan McGregor. He's not played since about, I think, the 22nd of August. He obviously played the 3 European matches last month. Will we see him back tomorrow?
He's available for selection, and we looked after him at the weekend because he had a couple of injury concerns that weren't major, but it wasn't worth taking the risk either, because we obviously had Big John available. So it was more a case of looking after Alan and respecting his body at the weekend. But yeah, he's available and he's fit and good to go tomorrow. And the reason he hasn't played for that long is obviously we've had 2 weeks international break in between. But he has trained really hard in between. He only missed one session with the Nigel.
Hi Stephen, if I can count, tomorrow will be your 50th European game in charge of Rangers. How would you rate your European journey with Rangers so far, and do the nights get more and more special?
I hope they get more and more special, but the only way to do that is to get results against these big teams. You know, when the high-level opponents come into Ibrox or we're on our travels, we need to make sure we keep impressing ourselves and doing as well as we can. I've really enjoyed the ride and the journey from a personal point of view. In terms of rating myself, I don't really do that. You can only give your best. I think that's for you guys to judge and have your opinion on it. But for me, I've loved it. I love being involved in European games. I did as a player, and I'm really enjoying the ride as a manager as well.
In terms of that European milestone, you know, with the 50 games in charge, only 8 defeats, it obviously does provide you with different challenges in terms of scouting the teams, the level of them. Have you and the management team enjoyed that, but also do you feel it has been beneficial to the management team when it comes to the domestic game?
I think 100%. I think as player, coaches and as a manager, you can always learn in every game, and especially when the top managers and the top teams come in or you're pitting yourself against them. We've had some incredible games. We've made some mistakes along the way, so that's where the experience comes and the growth comes. But this is a big selling point, if you like, for Rangers, is European football. It's how you're trying to attract the best players to come up here and share the journey with you. The fans love it, you know, under the lights, big nights, going on our travels together. We've had some fantastic experiences, and you know, some of the highlights that I've enjoyed during my tenure have come on the back of European fixtures.
Morning, Stephen.
Good morning.
Just wondering where you think Leon rank in terms of the European opposition you've faced since coming to Rangers, and some of the key strengths that you'd identify from their game.
I think arguably the best. I think it's, you know, a full strength Leon. As I said earlier, in my opinion, very much a Champions League team with Champions League calibre players. They've got a manager who got this job on the back of doing ever so well as the Bayer Leverkusen manager. He's been here before. He knows what we're about. So this is a real big test tomorrow, and there's no doubt about it. We have to be at our best, and that goes for both sides of the game. We have to have a high level of focus and concentration tomorrow, because, you know, if you don't against these teams, you can be punished, and punished very quickly. So it's a real good test for us, a good challenge. But we've also got to have our own confidence and our own belief that we can play at this level, we can compete, and at the right times during the game, we have to show bravery that we can go and hit the opposition as well. So we're excited, we're looking forward to it, but we know the size of the challenge, and it's arguably the biggest we've had as a group.
Hi, Stephen.
Hi, Michael.
You've reached the last 16 a couple of times. Are the team capable of going further than that and aspiring to the quarterfinals, for example? You look at some of the teams that have reached the last 8 in the last couple of seasons, and you think, well, Rangers should be a match for that.
Well, I think we've proved in the last 3 years we can compete at the level, and we've grown, we've got better, and I think we've obviously, in the last 2 years, we've matched our performance, if you like, by getting to the last 16. So the challenge and part of the remit to the squad at the beginning of the season is, can we keep impressing ourselves and try and go further than that? One thing's for sure, we won't make it easy for anyone, whoever we play against, and I think it's about taking it in stages. So first and foremost, can we get out of this group? We're obviously in pot 2, and we're all aware Leon was in pot 1, so naturally people will make them the big favourites, if you like. But we've got more than enough in our squad, if we stay healthy, that we can put a right good fight and compete to get out of this group. That's the first stage. Then you need a bit of luck in the draw as you go along. But what a fantastic challenge, and what a time to be part of this team, because the likes of Leon are coming into town. This is what we all want to be part of.
Leon in the last few moments have sort of announced their travelling squad, and Moussa Dembele is not part of that due to injury. Given his bright start to the season, do you see that as a bit of a boost?
Well, I think this club and this team knows more than most the abilities and the quality that he possesses. He's obviously started the season reasonably well, and he's gone to Lyon and sort of built on his career, if you like, from Celtic, gone to the next step into one of the top 5 leagues in the world and produced. So I've got a lot of respect for the player in terms of his technical qualities and his ability. But, you know, I don't really get involved in opinions of whether Lyon are going to be weaker or stronger, because they've got players capable of coming in. They've got talent all over the pitch, especially in the front 4 positions. So it'd be very naive of me to think that Lyon are going to be any weaker just because one player's missing.
Phil Hollander obviously had a lengthy period out early on in his Rangers career. 1, how is he from a mental point of view after the injury? And 2, do you have a time scale on when he'll be back?
I've not yet spoke to Phil post-surgery because it happened in the last 24 hours, and I'm told he's still probably trying to get himself together after the surgery, if you like. But I will be speaking to him in the near future to see on his mental state, and also an update on what the surgeon said to Phil from a one-to-one point of view. He's a big player for us. He's always been consistent and helped us since he's come in the door. So he will be a miss and a loss. But again, it's the reason why it's always important to have 4 centre-backs so you can cope when one's missing. So in terms of how long he's going to be out for, difficult to put a time frame on it, but he'll certainly be missing for at least a few months.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, let's hear from you. Come and phone us. 0141 356 1972. Phone in, speak to the receptionist, and he'll sort you out. Linda, what did you take for that?
Well, he's always very honest, isn't he? the gaffer, Stephen Gerrard, very respectful to Leon. You know, he's acknowledging obviously Ox that they're a big club, good players. He knows it's going to be a tough test, so he's probably under no illusions the game that's in front of them. It was disappointing about Helander, but I think it's what we expected. Ox, when you get carried off, you kind of knew he knew himself he had done something. But if it's a few months, that's better than obviously if it was maybe like an ACL, and then you're talking about maybe a year. So that was a bit of bad news, but it's what we expected. But as I say, we've got McGregor available. He's talking as well about big game players and the experience that they've got in Europe that they've built up under him. So it's going to be a tough game, and I think that's what I took from it. He's expecting a tough game, but he also thinks that we've got quality and that we can go and get a result.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, 100%. Yeah, I think the manager's. I think he's chuffed that Goldson's back. I really do believe that. But he's a bit sad because he's lost Helander. And Helander is one of his, shall we say, better quality players, as they say. But really, you see when you listen to him, the more you listen to him, the more admiration I've got from him, really and truly. That guy's class, with a capital K, seriously, absolute class. And he can answer any question, takes every question and gives an honest answer. And there's not very many managers can do that. They can't. But that guy's brilliant. Don't let him go, Rangers fans. Don't let him go.
Very respectful, and it was great to hear him pay tribute to his ex-boss, Gerard Houllier. He obviously played a big part in his career. He always does things with dignity and respect. I'm going to put this out there. I like Big Helander. I think Oyes, Linder and Bridgman, I think we'd all have him in our team of fit Phil Helander, yeah?
Yeah.
At the moment, yeah.
I think so,
but
yeah.
He's very, very unlucky for injuries, and when you look at it, the number of games he's played, he's into his third season now. He ain't played a lot of games. So does it strengthen the negotiating hand of Connor Goldson's team, if you know what I mean, who never misses?
Yeah, I would agree, Ox. And, we were talking a wee bit about, what sort of wages do we think that Connor's maybe holding out for, and what is he on just now? He's hardly missed a game. From what our understanding is, he hardly misses a training session as well. And I know he's had moments when he's played for Rangers that he's made mistakes and it's led to goals. But he probably has been our most consistent defender, and you've got to give him credit for the number of games that he actually has been able to play. So yes, I think he's got a good hand to play when it comes to negotiating, and there's been no further word on this contract and whether he's going to sign it. But let's hope that he does.
I will see. I mean, if you're talking about value for money, Connor Goldson's your man, Bridgman, isn't he?
Oh yeah, I mean, once again, I like both him and Helander. They would be my centre halves every day of the week at the present moment, based on what we've got, and they do well for us. And seriously, when you mention Connor Goldson, the guy's a rock. He's an absolute rock for us. And I know that a lot of folk have mentioned we idiosyncrasies he's got, and sometimes he gets himself into a fuffle and tangles his legs up and things like that. But the truth of the matter is he does a lot of attacking. He picks the ball up. He hits lovely balls across when he's on form. Beautiful diagonal balls. And everybody that sits around with me sitting wondering, because you can't believe that guy can do that kind of thing. But it's an excellent player for us. Excellent player for us.
Put it to you both that Helander's a better defender, but Golson might be the better player.
Yeah, that could be true. And they talk about Helander being in the team and we've got a lot of defending to do, Ox, winning headers, tackles, that sort of thing. But when we think we're going to have a lot more possession and they've got the ball at the back, he's maybe not as good in terms of the distribution. So that's probably quite a fair shout to say that Golson probably is the better footballer.
I don't know. I would hold back on that, because I think Helander's a really good footballer. I think Goldson is a really good defender in the air. He hardly ever loses a ball in the air. when he's one-to-one heading, unless he blunders himself, but no real when that happens. So I think he's quite good. I don't think he's a great football player, but when he's got space around about him, he can motor, ball at his feet, lots of control on it, and he's sometimes no bad at passing. But I really think from a, shall we say, reading of the game situation, I think Helland is your man there, and he's a lovely left foot.
I don't disagree with that, but I don't think Helander ever really looks comfortable on the ball bridge, Linda.
Do you know?
No, I don't.
I think he plays some beautiful passes up the inside channel to the great Earth players. I really do think he's a good player.
Well, he looks more comfortable because he's got left foot, but I don't think he's I don't think he's what you call a ball playing centre half. Linda?
No, I would tend to agree to a certain extent with that. I think Bridge always talks about having that balance in terms of the left-footed player on the left-hand side, and he links up well with Barisic, and he's playing the ball up the wing on the left-hand side. But I would agree with you, Ox, and when he's got to play like a cross-field pass or a long ball, I don't think he's, just my opinion, I don't think he's the best centre-half that we've got in that regard. When we're looking to maybe, find a forward further up the park, I don't think he's got the best, passing game out of them all, to be honest with you.
But we like both of them, yeah, that's the crux of it. I think Prince is right, they're the best we've got yet as a parent at the moment.
Yeah, I would agree.
You've heard me saying this a million times. I still don't believe our first class quality centre half is at Ibrox at the moment. The people that we depend on, the Davy Wright, Davy Weir, was absolutely amazing for us. There was a few other centre halves that were really good. The list goes on when we talk about centre halves at Rangers. Some of them are excellent, really good. And you can rhyme them off yourself. You know them all. You've watched them. And I just feel that the one that we're going to get, because I don't quite think we're at that level yet, but the one that we're going to get is going to carry us through for the next maybe 7 or 8 years. He's not there yet. And maybe our captain as well. Not there yet.
All right, okay. Interesting. But it's different. So to up this quality bridge, we came up a real steep slope, and the slope's no steep, but to go up this next 10-20% is difficult, Linda.
Yeah, it is, and the player that Bridge is talking about as well, how much is that going to cost, unless you're getting somebody maybe at the end of their contract, but you're then going to have to probably give them big wages. But I think since Gerrard's come in, we've spoken about this before, he's tried to up the quality in terms of the players that we've been able to bring in year on year. When you think about what he did inherit Ox, and you think about the quality that we've got now, but it does take finances, and maybe that's just what we've not got at this present moment in time.
Yeah, as I say, I like Phil Helander, but if you begin to negotiate a contract, if he's a 3-year or a 4-year deal, the number of games he's played, it doesn't send out a good message, does it, Bridge? I'll give you the exact stats. Sadly, due to injury, I'm not saying he's dropped or anything, just purely due to injury. Bridgeman?
Yes, I think you're right. I think, look, I would dare say, given hindsight's a great word, as we know, that's a great thing. And our manager may not have actually bought him. Knowing what we know now, maybe his investment there, whatever it was, he might not think he's got the money, got the value.
I'd have bought him just for that header a couple of weeks ago.
Absolutely right. I mean, I'd have bought him because he's a left-footed central defender and could play there. But and I think he's a lovely passer of the ball out of defence on the ground. And when he starts to try to go up the way, you start to see wild passes. Look like wild passes at times, But he scored a goal for us. He's been up there challenging. It causes ructions when he goes up there because he's so tall. But I don't think he's... a lot of Rangers fans like him as well as me. I'm no stupid, but I think he's really, really good centre half. But what we've got at the moment is as good as any we've got.
He's into my third year in the club, right? And I'll look at Goulson and put it in his perspective. And then we want to go back and talk. Well, finish this. He's in his third year with the club. He played 18 games his first season. obviously cut short. 30 games in all competitions last year, 21 in the league. So he's no far away from 50% in the league. And this year, 3 in the league, missed a couple. In total, he's played 6 games so far, yeah. So in total, he's played 54 games for us. And he's going to boot for a lengthy spell. And that's the trouble. I hope he can get healthy for a long, long time, Linda.
Yeah, and I think that first injury that he had, Ox, was the cup. Was at the cup final against the team from the other side of the city. It was a bad one, and he was out for quite a long time. But also as well, he seems to manage Helander as well. You know, during the season, sometimes he would play one game and then he would maybe sit out the next. So I think that's been an issue. And ironically, you know, it's a shame. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, but he probably wouldn't have played on Saturday if Goldson had been available. Because he probably would have maybe kept him for the Lyon game. But who knows with Gerrard, because as you said, Helander's been dropped for some of the home games in Europe. But as I say, it's not a lot of games for that particular period of time. So
in the same period of time, Connor Golson's played 117 games, pretty much double, more than double.
Well, that's amazing, Ox. It really is.
Yeah, interesting. But we wish Big Phil all the best.
Absolutely.
Don't
forget how many goals Connor Golson scored as well. He's got quite a good record of scoring goals. Big
Phil scored 7, and at the same time, Connor scored 13. Yeah. But he's played nearly double the games, Bridge. So
yeah.
You know, but Big Phil scored 1 we'll never forget, and Connor Golson scored a double we'll never forget. Neither one,
Absolutely. 3 brilliant goals, Ox.
Aye, that one, and the Rangers end at Parkhead was a pile driver for Connor, wasn't it? For about 3 yards?
3 yards. 6 yards, you. That's the kind of goals I used to score. I loved it.
Aye, any further out you'd have missed.
Oh, I would have definitely missed.
Aye,
I needed 5 minutes when I got up there. When I got up into the box, I needed 5 minutes and I was all settled in after running up there.
You mean, they call that get your breath back, Bridge?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Right, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Come on, people out there on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, give us a phone, give us your thoughts, give us your idea about the team's going to be, what you think of our centre-halves. Do we need another one in the door? Southside has been banging that drum. It's usually Big Stevie bangs the drum, but Southside's been banging that drum for a while. We need another centre-half. Do you think so? It'd be interesting to hear what people think. Linda?
Yeah, absolutely. Get them to come in and give us their views as well. You know, big European night tomorrow night is, you know, Gerrard's record in Europe as well, Ox.
Oh, fantastic, Linda. Fantastic. Mm-hmm. 50 games tomorrow night. 50 games, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's their favourite games as well under Gerrard, maybe in the group stages?
That's some question.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, there's been some fabulous one. Obviously, the first season away in UEFA. And then the results, Villarreal doing great against them. In that group stages, Rapid Vienna when Candias does the back heel to Morelos, and then the second season it gets even better. And then last year, I mean, Galatasaray, and then we win the group, and we have some fabulous results. And blew it twice against Benfica.
I know.
Over Roman Hose twice and blew it.
I know. I didn't pick either of the Benfica games as my favourite because of that fact.
Then you've got the goals in Feyenoord and some fabulous nights he gave us. Fabulous.
Absolutely. And to qualify out the group, you know, all these times and thinking about, as we said earlier, what we were like when Gerrard came in. You know, we had been out of Europe and it was unbelievably embarrassing. And then the fact that he got us into the group stages in his first season was just remarkable. And, you know, it's been onwards and upwards. And who knows, we just need to take one stage at a time. But You know, we've proven that we're a last 16 team, and you know, if you get a wee bit of luck with the draw, if you get through, Ox, you just don't know what could happen.
We mustn't forget
Braga.
Aye, exactly. Yeah. Braga was brilliant. Yeah. But we mustn't forget that Gerrard's been under severe pressure from the press and the so-called press in Scotland. They don't like Rangers winning. It's as simple as that. No matter who it is, so they're looking for something to slag, and the manager gets it quite a bit, you know. So it's not very nice, but we love him, and I don't understand why MD doesn't like him, because he's fantastic, brilliant manager, brilliant.
I don't think I'll be really honest with you. For the Scottish press, I see it elsewhere in the world. I see it online. I don't think Gerrard's had any credit for what he's done.
None at all.
You've got to remember the low base we started with when the guy came in the door. What he's done, it's been a remarkable job. Linda?
Yeah, and the coefficient, the rankings for Scotland, I mean, single-handedly, you know, it's kind of been Rangers that's pulled us up. And hopefully we're going to get the automatic entry into the group stages of the Champions League for the Scottish League winner next season. So, I mean, when you think about the coefficient and the work that we've done around that, I really don't think that we get the credit. And we've said on here before that we're not overly bothered about it because we praise them, when it's deserved, and we all appreciate it. But sometimes you just would like him to get a wee bit more recognition up here. I think we would all like that, Ox.
He's true. A great point you make about coefficient. He's took a team that were no challenging, won them a league. He's gave us more self-respect back in Europe, all under a very small budget in real terms, Bridge.
Well, you know, if it had been any other team other than Rangers, may I say, and he'd done something what he's done, they'd be getting praised for the high heavens. It would be, because what he's done is nothing short of miraculous for the club, and absolutely fantastic for the fans, and of course, over the moon with the great results in Europe and the coefficients for Scottish football. Not one iota of appreciation. Not one iota. That's what he gets. Nothing. If that had been any other team, I'd be well appreciated. Well appreciated.
Mm-hmm. 50 games in Europe. We salute you. We're asking you to come on with your favourites, Linda. Go on. I'll put you on the spot, Linda. Your favourite under Gerrard.
Okay, so the group games, I think I'm going to go for Rapid Vienna. It was the first season home. It was the first home game in terms of in the group. As you said, Ox, I think we had won away before that. Sorry, we had drawn away to Villarreal 2-2, and that was the home game, the first home game, and we won 3-1. I think we went a goal down, and then Alfie equalised fairly quickly. And then that third goal was the wee back healer. I was at that game and the atmosphere was unbelievable. It was just another brilliant night. My second game I've gone from the next season, it was Porto at home. We won 2-0. Alfie and Stephen Davis. Again, the roof nearly come off. Brilliant result. And my last one I've gone for last season was Standard Liège when we won 2-0 away. And Roof's 92nd minute goal, that brilliant one from the halfway line. So that kind of a three. They stand out for me.
Roof's shot, I'm saying, what you did? Take it out of the corner. Full goal.
Do you remember the night it was as well?
Oh, it was pouring. It was pouring. It was like a garden party in Bridges' house, wasn't it?
It was absolutely legendary.
You know,
I must admit that was one of my favourites. That one with Roof, brilliant. And of course, who could forget the back heel for Candias to Alfie, and Alfie just picked the ball up. Must have been 40-45 yards. Ran right down there and put the ball in the net. Well, the place went absolutely stone raving mad. Fabulous, just fab. Atmosphere great.
I think I need to get the Braga one in there, Linda.
Yeah.
2-0 down and come back and won 3-2. It does happen, but no, I mean, it was 2-0 down with about 20 minutes to go, was it?
Upstairs. Yeah. Was it Yanis Hadji's night? Was that Yanis Hadji's night?
Yanis Hadji's night. The night he sort of came onto the stage, Hadji, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
did Aribo score a fabulous goal that night as well?
Aye, his was arguably the best of the goals, but obviously Hadji get two and he got the first one, which turned the tide, if you remember right, Linda.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I just looked at the group games just because it was the group starting tomorrow night, but certainly, definitely the Braga game. And even, as you mentioned earlier, some of the qualifiers, I mean,
the Legia Warsaw one.
That was unbelievable, and I've talked about that a few times. And the flares all going off, the pit players getting taken off the pitch, and their fans down in that corner, and a certain ex-goalie being in amongst the crowd, and then when Alfie popped up with that header, it was just phenomenal. The atmosphere again. That was one of my favourites as well. That particular game.
Yeah, it was pretty calm. Maybe if they hadn't put the flares and we hadn't went off the pitch, we might not have scored.
Spot on, Ox.
Yeah, they had that banner. Oh dear. Oh dear. Anyway, that was a fabulous night, and that got qualified as that was a team who were consistently in the Champions League again, London. It was a great result. Did we get any credit for it?
No, definitely
not in this wee land. Not in this wee land, you don't get that credit, that's for sure.
Good that Connor Golson's back tomorrow night. Unfortunate, Highlander will not see him I don't think, after the January break. I think the club have put it out there, he's out till December, so we'll then get a break in January for a few weeks, so possibly we'll see him maybe end of January, start of February if everything goes well. But London, I'm going to put you in the spot. What's the team?
Right. My team is McGregor, Tav, Goldson, Balogun and Barisic. I've got Aribo, Davis, Kamara and Roof, Morelos and Kent.
So you pretty much get the same front six?
Yeah.
Front six is Saturday?
Yeah.
Does that not concern you?
I did think about putting Arfield in the midfield and pushing Joe Aribo up one, just to give us a wee bit more maybe stability in the midfield, and it would probably be Roof that would drop to the bench. But I've gone with those six just because I think that they've played the most games as well, Ox, and they're probably going to be more match fit. But I'm still a wee bit concerned about it. And the other one I thought was, would he take a chance on putting Lundstrom in there to give us a wee bit of more stability as well?
Interesting. Interesting. Be great to hear people's thoughts. I get it. That a lot of people would say Roof, Morelos and Kent were front three in that midfield, yeah. But we ain't firing. We're not scoring the goals the way we were in the past, Bridgman.
No, we're not. Well, they haven't fired together yet for a wee while, so it's got to be, if they're going to make it happen, we've got particularly tomorrow night. But I agree with Linda's team, and I also agree with her idea that, I was toying with the idea of putting Lundstrom in, and to give you a backup in a more defensive perspective. They're playing just in front of the midfield, so only go up front with two. That's what I was thinking, So we'll go with Roof and Morelos up front. But
you can't counter the team, mate.
Well, I don't know. I really don't know, but that sure would play up front. But I would probably mean I would need to take Kent out to get him in. But I'm not sure. I would go with the first choice where you're talking about three of them. Roof, Morelos and Kent. That's the way I would go, first of all. But my mind went the same as what Linda did, and thinking about should we try and find a place for Lundstrom, and that would be the only way I could do it, because I think they're quite a tough team. They're going to be a tough team against us, and I'm sure that they'll be taking no prisoners. That's for sure.
Usually teams like this keep the ball well, Linda. Yeah, they keep the ball well. You've got to have a bit of patience.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a tough game, and as Steven Gerrard said, we need to be fully concentrated, and let's hope there's not any silly mistakes or silly errors, and we don't gift them any goals, you know, if a team scores a really good goal against the Ox, you know, if it's through a good team move or it's a 25-yarder, there's not a lot sometimes you can do about it. But we just need to make sure that we're very tight, no mistakes defensively, you know, glaring errors. We're probably not they'll probably have a lot of the ball. So when we get the ball, we're going to have to make good use of it, aren't we? And I think Kent will play, because if Leon defence play a bit higher up the park, maybe we'll get a wee bit more space for a change and he'll be able to use his pace to get in behind. But it's definitely going to be a tough game.
Aye, I don't doubt it. The bookies have got it very, very close in the betting. We're 64, they're 13-8, you know?
Yeah.
So they're hedging their bets, if the truth be known, yeah.
Yeah. You know, as I said, I don't know if you guys think so. That what Gerard was saying there as well. That is it probably the toughest opponent that we've come up against in Europe under his sort of tender? Do you think?
I think maybe if you look at their form this now, and they've not been a Champions League team. When we played them in 2007, 2008, they were regularly qualifying for the Champions League. I would say that maybe Leverkusen or Benfica, and I'd maybe put Benfica in front of them because of the money they've spent, you know?
Yeah, I suppose so. And I mean, as we said, under Gerard's tenure, we've had a lot of, you know, big teams, you know, as you've right said, even Porto, when you think, I mean, they're a Champions League team as well. So I don't know if it's just the whole Leon thing in terms of, like, you know, their ability to score goals. They've paid a lot of money for a lot of their players. They seem to they've had a bit of a mixed start to the season. They've scored goals, but they've also conceded quite a number of goals as well, Ox. But I mean, you don't know, obviously that's in the French league, but I'm hoping that we'll get a couple of chances tomorrow night, and we just need to make sure that we take them.
Yeah, I mean, the Rangers Leon story is quite funny, Bridgeman, when you think back. We went there 2007, we won 3-0, and then they come back to Ibrox and beat us 3-0, I think, or was it 3-1? I can't remember, I'll just check out. But anyway, Dashiful missed a chance right at the death, if you remember. And it would have made it either 2-1 or 3-1, because the boy Benzema was only a kid at the time who raped us that night and looked as if he was going to be something special. We got that right. If Dashiful scores that goal, Manchester never happens.
Aye, absolutely. Yes, I think that was a long time ago that we were playing Leon then, and Leon they were quite a good team, a good club, and you know, I don't know, club-wise, I'm not dead sure if they're a great club and are thought to be good or whatever, but I think that Rangers are going to have to play well tomorrow night. That's the way I look at it. They've got to do it. It's dead easy. They've got to do it. In my opinion.
Was it Leon Paul McGuenfy? Was that where he made his name?
I think so. I think it was Leon. Is it right?
No. I'll check that out. But it's interesting how things work out. Dashiell, I'm just checking that game about what game it was and find out if I can find it. Right, Leon lost 3-0. It was 3-0.
3-0, yeah.
3-0, aye. Dashwell must have missed a chance. It must have been about 60 odd minutes on the clock from memory, and that goal, if we'd have got the goal, we'd have knocked him out and we'd ended up second in the group and moved through, and we'd have never go to Manchester. Unbelievable.
A sliding doors moment, Ox.
Aye. Unbelievable. But aye, so we played them before. Wasn't it great? Ibrox pitch. 3-0 making beat.
But I mean, our record at Ibrox sometimes, even a little bit, the Bears were there. Well, in my opinion, it was just because we were playing really good teams. And some of the teams, we maybe never quite appreciated them. Some of the teams, when they came to Ibrox, they were absolutely brilliant. And the skills they were showing, tremendous stuff, you know. And sometimes we just couldn't live with them. But, you know, it's always I love the European football. Just absolutely love it. You get a whole variety of teams coming to Ibrox, and all different skills, different skill sets. Sometimes Rangers are far better than them, and other times, well, we do get found out, at times. It's just love. I love everything about it, the atmosphere, the feelings, great stuff.
It was Leon at Paul Le Guen. He was out the game for a year, then he came to us, yeah.
Yeah.
My manager at work was a French guy, and his boss was a French guy, because we'd just been bought over by a French company, and the manager, big football fan, he was a PSG fan, and he said that Paul Le Guen will definitely go to Ibrox. He says, but I don't know how he's going to be, but he didn't like him because he was PSG,
Right, he put a lot of games for PSG back in the day. They weren't the side that they are now, the club, but they weren't. Right, come and give us a phone. What's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
After all, it is a phone-in show, Linda, yeah? Not just us talking. We need some questions,
Okay, come and join us and give us your views. A big game tomorrow night. It'd be lovely to hear from a few of the listeners.
Yep, here. But it is a big game tomorrow. First European tie of the season in the group stages. Fantastic occasion. Full house. Under the lights. All the Bears up for it. Hopefully we can get a result. And then it sets you up for the rest of the games in the group stage. Hopefully. That's the hope. Linda.
Yeah, it is a tough opener, Ox, isn't it? Even though we've got a home game. Quite often, I think our opening game's been away from home in the group stages, but we couldn't have got a tougher game in terms of the other teams. I think the fans were going to have to be quite patient because, as we said earlier, Leon will probably have a lot more of the ball. So, but I just think the fans will be right behind the team. It's a great night, it's a great occasion. And think of all the games that we actually missed last season, all those brilliant, occasions, the games that were there, and all the victories, and we were all wishing that we were in the stadium. So I think everybody will just really appreciate tomorrow night actually being there, and I think it's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere.
Yes, well, the Bears get behind the team in Europe, and I think it was the Bears we talked about that Braga game, Bridge. I think it was a support to help drag the team through, wasn't it?
Absolutely, pal. Absolutely. Just wonderful, the support. Certainly in the last number of years under Gerrard, it's been fabulous. The atmosphere has been great at Ibrox. In my opinion, it's been brilliant, and they absolutely love that guy. Book him in forever.
I think you're right there, Bridge. I think he's a class act, and he's helping drive our club forward. Linda, along with a few others, but he's a focal point.
Okay, when he came to the club, we were just so delighted that we'd got this big name and somebody that we recognised instantly. And yes, he was a new manager, but we were delighted to get him through the door. And when he delivered the league title last year, I mean, he's got his place in history, but it's time to push on now, and we want more trophies, don't we, as well, Ox, domestically. But the European venture is just so critical for the club. I think I read today that we got just over 3 million for qualification for the group. And then you're talking about, I think it's £500,000 for a win and 180,000 for a draw. So, there's a lot of money to be won. I know it's not as rich as the Champions League, but it's money that that obviously we could do with, isn't it?
Yeah. The revenue is important. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We're going to hear from your captain, James Tavernier. Let's hear from him now.
Morning, James.
I do.
So you must be in pretty confident mood after another top drawer strike at the weekend. These games seem to bring the best out in you and your teammates, James. What is it about the European environment that you enjoy so much?
It's the big nights, always under the lights. You come against top teams, top players. It just automatically,
you know, brings the best out of you, because you always want to compete against the best and show how good you are at that stage. So it brings out the best of us, and to have a game at home, you know, with the fans, full Ibrox, you know, it'll be rocking. So these are the games that you can't wait to play.
Hi, James. The manager was saying that at the start of the season, one of the things he sort of challenged the squad to do is go further in Europe this season than you have done previously. How realistic an aim do you think that is for you and the squad, given what you've already done in the last few years?
Yeah, it's definitely realistic. We need to set targets. We always want to better ourselves of what we do in the previous seasons, and you know, we obviously want to do better this season than we have previously. So you know, it's going to be a tough game tomorrow night. But, you know, we look forward to these occasions, and, you know, it brings the best out of us. So our plan is obviously trying to get out the group stage and obviously beat our record going further in the Europa.
Hi, James. Rangers haven't lost a Europa League group stage game at Ibrox, 5 wins, 4 draws. How important is it that Ibrox becomes a place, or continues to be a place, that opposition clubs don't want to come to? And is that a real source of pride for the players? Is that something you can maybe draw on to spur you on?
Yeah, we want to make Ibrox a fortress. You know, our teams coming to Ibrox, we obviously don't want anybody to take any points away from us. We try and get the maximum points every single game. So, you know, our record speaks for itself. So, you know, we want to have that record there, so teams know it's going to be a tough place to come. And, you know, with the fans right behind us, especially this season, you know, they'll get right behind us, and hopefully we can get the points that we need tomorrow to start off the group stage in a good way.
Afternoon, James. The club hasn't really had its problems to seek in the defence with COVID, injuries, suspensions. But in terms of the personnel that you've got and how you've been playing, do you feel confident that you'll find the solutions to the cope with the firepower that Leon are likely to bring to the game?
Yeah, you know, this is one of our strongest squads that we've had since I've been here. You've seen the people that have stepped in during the season with the cases that we've had, and you know, everyone's stepped up and, you know, played the part. You've seen Leon against Celtic playing the right back position, and he came man of the match, and he was instrumental in that game for us. So, you know, we've got a squad now we're all competing with each other, trying to be in the starting 11. But, you know, if anyone is asked to do a job, the gaffer knows he can rely on them to come and do a job. We know their attacking threat is, you know, it's going to be good. So it's something that defensively as a team we're going to have to be aware of. You know, be really concentrating during the game and try and nullify their threats, and hopefully we can create chances on the other end and get some goals.
You've won 5 of your last 6 games. Do you still think the team's yet to put in a complete 90 minutes performance and hit their level this season?
We're always capable of putting the performance in for 9 minutes, but, you know, a game of football, you're never going to control the game for the full 90 minutes. You know the opposition will always have spells during the game, but we'll try and minimise that as the best we can. But that's just football. You know, I was speaking to my brother the other day and talking about football games, the games that you always seem to lead, and it always seems to be like the last 5 minutes you're always pinned into your own half and defending, and, you know, that's just football the way it is. Teams will have spells, but we'll try and minimise everything we can do and try and control the game.
Hi, James. Leon have confirmed that Moussa Dembele won't be travelling for the game. I think he's got an injury. Do you take that as a boost, or would you have quite fancied coming up against him?
You know, they've got other players in the squad that we know bring great quality to their team. You know, we're just looking forward to playing against the full 11. If he's obviously not travelling, but they've got people in his place that can, you know, do a job in that position. So we're going to be fully focused on who we have to mark and who we have to play against when the starting 11 comes on.
Hi, James. This is the manager's 50th European game in charge of the club. I know you've obviously been at the club for a bit longer than him, but just what have you made of the evolution of the team in sort of European stage in his time at the club?
Yeah, the transition's been overwhelming since the gaffer came in. It was obviously in its progress a tiny bit before he came in, but since the gaffers came in, he's transformed the place inside out. His staff, everyone around him, and the club, and the board are really invested in the team, the training ground, and the stadium. And they really transformed this place. To be the Rangers what we know it is. So with them all behind us, getting behind us, giving us all these things, we've got to, show the fifth, the opposite end, and give him the results that he needs.
Just on the back of that, James, Rangers have obviously restored their reputation on the continent over the last few years. Do you feel that you're now a side in a club that teams don't want to draw and don't want to come and face just because of how adept you and how good you are at this level?
Yeah, definitely. We've had previous seasons in the Europa, and we've had teams come out and say that we were really hard to play against, and we want to continue that and improve on that, and just be a really hard team to play against, and a force to be reckoned with. And the only way we can do that is pushing ourselves every single day on the training pitch, and domestically as well, keeping that momentum going and just keep winning games.
Right, thanks for that. Quite interesting. Tav's seen it all at the club now, isn't he? I've seen it all. Again, we're blessed with the people at the club at this moment in time, Linda. No, they're no bad football players, score great goals, but they conduct themselves in a manner befitting Rangers players.
Okay, Tav's, he's just class. And as you see, he's been through sort of thick and thin, hasn't he? He's been through the hard times, and he got a hard time from a lot of fans in Scotland, and he probably gets a wee bit of a hard time from us at times as well, Ox. But he never hides, and he's always looking for the ball, and he wants to try and be positive. He is. He's a class act, and I was interested when he was asked about the fact that they've not given us a complete 90 minutes yet. Because I think we all think that we've hardly even got out a second gear at times, in terms of the 10 games that we've played so far. So he probably thinks there's a lot more to come from the team as well. And usually Europe, we kind of up our game. So I'm hoping to see that tomorrow night. And I hope it's going to kick-start us in the league as well in terms of the actual performances.
Yeah, Bridge?
Oh, yeah. I can't say enough praise to the guy. Listening to him there and what he's done. He's was it 7 years you said he's been with us now? 7 years. I can't
This
even.
is the seventh season.
This is seventh season. Unbelievable. And it started, shall we say, I think it was in the Championship we signed him. And my goodness, he's came all the way through with us, and now captain. And that goal he scored to get us a victory at the weekend there, utterly fantastic. And I'm sure he scored goals similar to that to get us good victory before. One against Hibs for sure. I tell you, the guy's been a great servant to Rangers, and you're right, he speaks a lot of sense. You don't feel it doesn't mumble gumbo or anything like that. It's give you a straight answer. And so I don't know whether you guys believe me or agree with me. I find that these conferences and the questions are far more sensible than when they're up against the standard press. I think it's really good.
Good point, Bridge. We'll come to that after the tune. By the way, Fox is reneged for the tune. All School Blues in charge of the tune tonight. There's been a real power struggle behind the scenes, Linda. If I'm being honest, it's been pretty.
What's happened? Why is Fox so out with everybody?
Oh, mate, he hit him with his yo-yo, and he hit him back with his. Oh, it was just embarrassing.
That was messy.
But All School Blues on the tunes. He likes something a wee bit more diverse. Fox likes more modern stuff. Fox is a bit of a dancer, Anyway, we'll come to that in a minute. But we're going to talk about that after the tunes. We're going to talk about people what they like. They like the fan media. They need the mainstream media. And Linda, you've got a wee thing you want to look at with your Alfie, ain't you? After the tune.
Yes.
Ooh. Get yourself in mute. We're going to have this tune for Old School Blue.
everywhere, anywhere, we will follow on. Follow, follow, we will follow Rangers. If they go to Dublin, we will follow on. There's not a team like the Glasgow Rangers. No, not one. No, not one. There's not a team like the Glasgow Rangers. No, not one. No, not one. Some folk know all about their sorrows. We will fight till the day is done. There's not a team like the Glasgow Rangers. No, not one. No, not one. Follow, follow, we will follow Rangers. Up the stairs, down the stairs, we will follow on. Follow, follow, we will follow Rangers. If they go to Dublin, we will follow on. Follow, follow, we will follow Rangers. Everywhere, anywhere, we will follow on. Follow, follow, we will follow Rangers. If they go to Dublin, we will follow on.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
DG wanted a pie on site, good wages to be agreed. Oh dear. Harry Lauder loyal.
That's pretty cool, actually. Well said there, by the way.
Oh dear. Moretti will still be bickering behind the scenes. Brilliant. Brilliant. Anyway, right, Linda, give us this Sab thing you've dug out. Come on.
Yeah, so you know how it's been widely discussed, the fact that this Dembele, obviously he's not playing now, but he's obviously playing for Lyon, and what he was going to do to the Rangers defence. Well, UEFA tweeted a head-to-head between him and Morelos, and Alfie decided to put it out on his Instagram account today, so everybody's seen it, but you probably would have seen it anyway on Twitter. So do you want me to read out the stats?
Yes, please.
So Morelos, his appearances, and I'm assuming this is overall club football, Ox. So Morelos has got 259 appearances, 143 goals and 57 assists. And Dembele has got 294 appearances, 131 goals and 41 assists. So I think our Alfie was finding it quite amusing, the fact that he's actually probably get much better stats than Dembele and how he was being compared to him. So that was what was put out today, much to all the Rangers fans' amusement.
Aye, just
that's probably why he's not coming out. Well done there, by the way.
God, I just want to let you know that was the A side he played there at the break time. He wants to play the B side at the end of the show. Right, brilliant. That's some fine one. That just shows you the media don't always tell the truth, do they?
No, and they can spin it whatever way they want. And as you've always said, Ox, you know, we're not saying that Dembele isn't a good player. I don't really have an opinion on him as such, but he wasn't playing against the best, was he, when he was here? And I know he's done all right, but it just shows you, you know, our striker is probably another person who doesn't get enough credit in this country either for what he gives to the team.
Yeah, all the teams that played, some of the teams that played in Scotland there in Europe in the summer, they should be thanking Alfie. It's his goals that's got the coefficient up.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. Ox.
It made me laugh. Don't make me laugh because all these people. Jesus, you know they executed him. If they had the guillotine here, they used Alfie as a get in there, kill him. Dear. What a treatment that boy's had. What treatment that boy's had in Scotland. Every single one of these newspapers and TVs and radios should be hanging their head in shame. The things they said about that boy. The things they said about him. Unbelievable. And he's still there.
What he does for his charitable foundation back home in Colombia. The guy's just he was a young man growing up in front of their eyes, and they couldn't wait to take pot shots on him. Some people would say some it had racist undertones. I don't know if I would go that far. Maybe I might. I don't know. I've not really thought it that way. But some of the things that were written about him and some of the abuse he took, it should have been highlighted. Oh,
yeah. Definitely, Ox, and he's just picked himself up and he just gets on with it, and he's worked hard to reduce the the number of like red cards, etc. And he's disciplined. He's working hard at that. You can tell. But I just wondered how you think his season has been so far in terms of his form.
Obviously, he had a couple of games there when he got goals, weren't they? When they got the goal against Malmo at home, and then he got the goal in another European tie. You think, okay, but he needs to start scoring more consistently, because centre forwards, even though Alfie's plays okay, they're judged on the amount of goals they score.
Yeah, I would agree. And he had that wee chance in Saturday, didn't he, before we get the penalty, and Tav put the cross in, and he was just millimetres away from getting his foot on it. But he's not getting into as many goal-scoring positions as we would like. But I don't know if it's a combination of the wrong decision-making, even with the front three, or maybe it's the midfield not creating enough. It's difficult to put your finger on it just now, but we're just not firing on all cylinders up front, I don't think.
They're also defending in numbers against them.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting this 6 men across the back, and then all of a sudden it's 10. Yeah, wait a minute. What is this football? But there you go. So when you get someone like Morelos who wants to pick up the scraps and have a shot at goal and things like that, if you get 4 or 5 men stunning Rooney all the time, you're not going to get a shot at a goal. It's as simple as that. Nobody open it.
Yeah, you're right. Man, great find there, Linda. Great find. I can't believe you ran an Instagram page with all the people like you. Unbelievable. What's it like to be famous? What's it like to be famous, Bridget?
Yeah, shocker.
She'll be the next one banging in Foxy's door looking for a rise bridge.
Oh, go for it. I don't envy what you're going to try and get, but my goodness, try it anyway.
Let us know how you get on, Linda. It's not been very successful for me and Bridge over the years.
We'll do what Gosens doing. Who's getting more money than me? Right, I'm only out this year. I'm not signing a new contract until I get more money.
We've tried everything, Bridge, haven't we?
Aye.
Everything.
I mean, things that Foxy would say when you did ask for anything like that. For you, are you kidding?
Did they not tell you and me we should be painting on?
Actually, he did. He only hinted, I must admit. Well, I took it as a hint and a laugh, Maybe he meant it.
He's just put it there. You can both be replaced.
Love it. Love it.
Dear. He's right. We can. Right. Bridgeman, you raised a point there, and we've had discussions about the media, the negative side of it, but we're going to look at a wee positive side of the things that's came to the fore maybe in the last year, 18 months, fan media. And I suppose we're part of it, Linda, as well. Even though we don't know if we see ourselves as the media, but the fans, a lot of them know the fan sites are talking to the gaffer and the players at the press conferences. Bridgeman's made the statement there that he's preferring it. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I've been enjoying it, Ox. You know, they came in for a wee bit of stick in terms of, you know, again, the mainstream media making comments on it that they're not asking tough enough questions. But I don't agree with that at all. I think they ask very relevant questions, and they actually ask the sort of questions that we want to, you know, hear, asking about, you know, maybe some tactical things, asking about why he's playing certain players in certain positions. They do ask, you know, if we've not played well, they will bring up questions about that. So I've actually quite enjoyed it. And I just think as Rangers fans, we just got a bit fed up with mainstream media, and there's no balance there anymore. I don't know if you think that yourself. We used to, as a family, enjoy reading the newspapers. But you know,
can I ask you, do you buy a newspaper?
No, I don't buy a newspaper
I know that
anymore.
Bridge still gets the FT and the Telegraph, yeah?
No,
don't worry, my wife likes the Daily Mail. She likes the Daily Mail. She can't, not every day, but she likes
As I said to you, he cancelled the Telegraph for the People, so that was the FT and P, so you can work that one out.
Oh dear, I just love it. But I'll tell you what, you know, the fan media, to my knowledge, they've all paid the 25 grand that Rangers were asking for.
I couldn't say that, Bridge.
Well, I think. Well, I'll put it this way: the boy that does Heart and Hand, he paid the 25 grand. You know,
I never said they all did, and I think they're businesses, and it's up for them to comment. Yeah,
yes, of course. But I'm just saying that they're not breaking any rules. Rangers asked for something, and as far as I know, it's been done. And the mainstream media said no, they don't want to take it, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm. But it seems as if it's been reasonably popular, and if people like it, that'll be the proof of the pudding. And Bridgeman, when you think back when not that long ago, some people got two papers, didn't they? They got the morning paper and the way you want, the evening paper, yeah. And then on a Sunday they might buy three papers. It's a trade. Modern life's just took it away. Well, a lot of things,
Three most popular Sunday papers: the Mail, Post, and the News of the World. There you go. And my Sunday Mail, Sunday paper delivery. That was it. My Sunday Mail delivery told you, and it's the same with their morning papers. It was the Daily Record and the Daily Express. Mm-hmm. That was the two main rags that head up here.
Owned by the same company now. Just remember that.
That's correct. Yeah, they're all the same. So can I just say that what I'm hearing, and I don't know how true it is, maybe ask you the question there yourself. I'm hearing that Record and the Sun are only going to go to Rangers games when they're away from home, like the BBC.
That's what it looks like. But what I'm saying is it affected our ground?
No.
The BBC not being there, is it affected our support?
No. In fact, it's made them better.
Has it affected our attendances?
Not a jot.
Has it affected the coverage we get to see the team?
No.
So who cares?
I certainly don't, and I'm delighted. I've been saying it for the last 12 years now. Don't let them in the stadium. They're poison. Plus, I hate them anyway.
You know, as we've always said, Linda, they've hated themselves to death.
Yeah, absolutely. They've only got themselves to blame.
Bridgeman, your name's
sorry.
Maybe it is at the weekend, but no during the week. Linda,
okay.
No, I agree with Bridge in the fact that, you know, they've brought it on themselves and they're not missed at all, Ox. And, you know, as I said earlier, we just get fed up with it. They're absolutely just biased against our club. You know, you don't get a fair crack of the whip. And as I said, we used to enjoy reading the newspapers. Don't get me wrong, you knew that the journalists who reported in the games all had their kind of favourite teams, but there was a balance. And as I said earlier, that for me is what's been missing. And some of the papers recently, as we know, have gone after certain Rangers fans groups. And the way that all the Rangers fans have rallied round has been really unbelievable. And it's been really nice to see. So I don't think they're missed at all. And I've got no intentions of buying. The circulation figures are going down anyway, you know. So a lot of people are just reading their news online. So that's affecting them as well. But no, it's the club stood up for itself, and we've put a marker down as well as fans, I think.
No, I don't think. If you think back when people used to be abroad in Spain and Greece, etc., and all the package holidays, and people would walk an hour to get a daily record to see.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely. And that's the first thing you went to look for. Which wee shops gets a daily record, and when is it? Is it a day after it or what? Sunday Mail. Absolutely. And if you're going to tell them, see, that's a paper I want. Make sure you've got one for me. You know, can I just say on the newspapers? And I really, maybe I don't know if I should bring this up, but there was one story about the young lad that got killed.
Oh, just leave it.
At Crow Road. But no, I'm not him, but the driver.
Just leave it, Bridge. Just leave it. Yeah, you shouldn't have brought it up. Yeah,
I'm just fuming.
Yeah, just leave it. There's an ongoing court case, yeah? Well, the potential an ongoing court case, yeah? All right. So, so it seems very popular. We used to. It'd be interesting to see if other people have got thoughts, or would they want it to be different, or will you see when there's maybe some kind of crisis with fans? I think fans would be harder to deal with if you're getting bad results, yeah?
That's probably right, Ox, because I don't think we can hide our disappointment at times. And certainly as I said, the press conferences that I've listened to, the fans media have asked pertinent questions. So it's just the mainstream media they're throwing the dummy out the pram, I think, and they're just not happy about being charged that amount of money by Rangers.
Mm-hmm. We said we thought it was a bargain if we let Bridgman, and we asked if there was a buffet for the. I mean, they said they said yes. They said they need to double it for us if Bridgman or JFK went.
You could get Rudy to go. Rudy would be able to critique.
Oh my God, you're there all week.
He'd still be doing the match day press conference for the Wednesday game. By the way, once again, I hope Rudy and his family are all right. Had the COVID, and I hope everything pans out for him. I hope they get well soon.
Absolutely.
Here.
Right, come on, you need to come and join us. This is a phone-in show. We need you. You've got the floor's yours. You've got a chance to phone in, speak to Bridgman, speak to Linda, speak to both of them. Yeah.
It'd be nice to hear their teams as well, Ox. What are they thinking about?
Yeah.
Is it similar to ours, or is there anybody going to throw in a wee surprise?
What would be the surprise? You think Lundstrom or Arfield? Do you think that would be the surprise?
Possibly. And does anybody think that Scott Wright could maybe get the nod ahead of Ken, or do you think we're just going to persevere with Ryan Kent in the hope that he's going to basically really... I mean, I thought he did all right against St Johnstone, but he's due a big performance, isn't he?
I don't think Scott Wright's fully 100% fit yet, is he? He's not even been on the bench yet, is he?
I think he was maybe on the bench on Saturday, but you're right, Ox, he's not played a lot of football, so he's probably not going to... He definitely won't start.
But you never know. You never know on the bench because you're allowed more subs in Europe, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, Lundstrom, be interesting to see what happens with him. You know, because obviously we're waiting for him to take off big still. I know you like him, Bridge. Your first thought says you like him.
Oh yes, I do. And one day, his star's going to shine on him, and he's going to show us what he's worth.
Talking about stars, Bridgman, we'll be joined by Alex Wishaw. Evening, Alex.
Alex Wishaw.
Yes.
Good evening, Oxford, Bridgman, Linda. Everybody keeping fine?
Alex.
Good, Alex. Good, mate. Yourself?
I'm good, thank you.
Here's a song.
I'm leaving that for tomorrow night.
Right, good man.
I'll be singing along tomorrow night.
He only does that once a year, Bridge, on special occasions. Leave him alone. Wait till we win the league again.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to make us a cracking tie, so I'm quite confident as well we could maybe get a result here.
Well, we're record in these group stages at Ibrox superb, Alex, huh?
Fantastic. You get what you were asking about earlier, all the fantastic victories. God save that. It's his 50th European tie, Stevie Gerrard. Unbelievable considering where we've came from and we're at the moment. And look at the teams that we've beat in the past. Brilliant nights. He's given us some fantastic nights. I think what do you call it, the Braga game. We were 2-0 down. That was absolutely exceptional. Feyenoord away. I was at Braga away as well. Fantastic. And what do you call it? I'm quietly confident we could maybe get a result here tomorrow night. All being it'll be a good tie. There's no getting away from it. They're a quality team as well.
The bookies have called about right, Alex. 64 Rangers, 13-8 Leon, 5-2 I think the draw. So they don't know what way to go yet.
That's exactly. They're no far off the mark, the bookies and that,
you know. I'll come right back to you, but we've been joined by the one and only Amanda. Evening, Amanda.
I promise I'm not talking about any medication tonight, right? Oh dear. After I come off, I went, oh God, what did I just say? Anyway, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. I know it might be a difficult game, but I think we might get a result tomorrow night.
I hope you're right.
A big man would do me. I 1-0 tomorrow night would do me.
Snap your hand.
Aye.
Carry on, Amanda.
Snap my hand off. I would take that any day. But as I say, I'm just buzzing to get to any game these days because it's been so long for us all getting to the stadium. It's brilliant to be back in the stadium.
Any game, Amanda, there was loads of empty seats up the East End of Glasgow at the weekend. You got to see that.
That just sums that lot up, does it not? I'm saying not a word. But I just think, no, the media's no effect in the crowd, and no, the media's no effect in the fans, and no, we don't need the daily rag, you know, we don't need it. Keep them out, that's what I say. I don't want them in the stadium, you know. And as for the Biased Broadcasting Corporation, they can shove their licence up their...
Easy girl.
No, it gets me every time. The way they are all anti-Rangers, anti-Rangers, and it just does my head in. Because they never look at the good side of the game. It's always all the negative, this tackle for so-and-so, or this tackle for... You know, they never mention the good score or whatever. But again, even the night, the lunchtime news today, that other mob get mentioned, no bother. Was there a mention about Rangers and the fact that Hollander has been injured in the boot for the foreseeable? No, not a mention. You know, so anyway, that's me. I'm off my soapbox now.
You feel better now?
I feel better.
He's charging for this counselling, really, shouldn't we?
I probably couldn't afford your fees. I'm only kidding. Oh dear, it's warm tonight, isn't it?
No, you can answer that. When you're hot, you're hot.
Oh dear. Anyway, how are you, Linda? All right?
Hi Amanda, how are you? You all right?
I am all right. I am okay. Getting there.
Amanda, I was just going to ask you, do you think we'll appreciate it a bit more because we're back in the stadium, because it's been so nice getting back, isn't it?
I tell you, I was talking to my friend. I was away yesterday afternoon. My friend had taken me to an appointment I had, and she was saying to me, she says, "How are you feeling?" I said, "It makes such a difference to be back at the football, to be actually in the stadium instead of sitting watching it on a screen." I said, and I think that's cheered everybody up because we're actually back in the stadium in person, you know. And I think that was wrong. Watching on a telly is not the same as seeing the team actually live, isn't it? No.
No, definitely not. It's great being back in the stadium. I totally agree.
Oh, definitely. Mind you, I'm not every time I get in, but that's a different story.
him and Fox's 95-inch TV. You think you're there? You think you're there? With the sound he's got on it and all.
Oh dear. Anyway, listen, I'll go and let more callers come in, right? And here's hoping we do get a result tomorrow night.
Yeah,
and let's keep it going for the Rangers. Okay.
Enjoy
See
the
you
day.
later. Bye. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Amanda,
Bye.
There you go, Alex. Back with you, mate.
Follow that then.
That's hard to follow. That's certainly for that. That's coming from the heart. Good on her. She's just a good Rangers supporter. That's what it's all about.
Our passion shines through for the club, didn't it?
Okay, that's what it's about. Just glad to get back as well. So I'm watching this Liverpool game now. It just shows you in European football. They're winning 1-0. AC Milan scored 2 goals within 2 minutes. It was 2-1 half time. Liverpool had missed a penalty previous, and now Liverpool's winning 3-2. Some game. So that just tells you. Oh no, that's the Champions League, but that's a quality.
I'm not need to bother watching it now.
Oh, sorry.
There's 10,000 fans have taped that to see it tonight.
Oh, I'll not tell you. I'll not tell you the goal scorers then. All right. No, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night. I love these European adventures. We've had some right good nights in that, and expect it'll be the same tomorrow. A full house there at Ibrox, and
Alex,
I'm sure
you're a guy who knows the game, mate. What kind of job has Gerrard done just in Europe? Forget about the rest, just in Europe.
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic, man. We salute him, every one of us. He's well appreciated with the Rangers support and other guys in football that know this guy, knows his stuff. He certainly doesn't get the recognition up here, but weren't expecting anything extra different that way. But he's fantastic. And for him to walk in that door and totally change your club, took us for the scuff of the net, let's be quite truthful, and bolts it up each year, finally go out there, qualify for the last 4, what do you call it, seasons and that. Remarkable achievement with the guy. And the guy's a winner. It's just how it's in his DNA. And I'm sure the players will be up for it tomorrow night as well. Fantastic to have him.
Aye, this is the games where they showcase themselves as a team. Obviously, we want to keep them, but some of them want to, if they want to progress to maybe, if you like, bigger leagues. I'm not going to say bigger teams, Alex, but this is the place where you sell yourself against the harder opposition, yeah?
Oh, definitely. European football, because you know yourself, a lot of teams or a lot of clubs, they don't recognise the Scottish League and some of the opposition that we're up against, which is a bit unfair sometimes because they're not so bad. They're quite good footballers out there. Other teams, maybe not the greatest, but they're trying. The European stage is the one for our players for to go in the shop window, to be quite truthful, if they want to move on to bigger things. But as I said before, the grass is not always green at the other side. You find out all these guys that they go away regret it. Because one thing about the Rangers, if you get there and you play with the Rangers, you give your 100%, they fans will love you to death, and that's what it's about. And if any of these guys want to go away, they'll go away with the best wishes of the club. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Well said. We've been joined by young GB. Evening, GB.
How are we doing, Ox? Sorry to phone in, but I'm
no,
just...
that's all right. You're more than welcome. No,
that excited about the game. I'm just thinking like the 2008 game against Lyon. I kind of see this as the same kind of matchup this time round for us. I can remember...
Are we going to get beat 3-0 tomorrow night? Is that what you're saying?
No, we're going to beat them 3-0. Now, I can remember going out to Lyon and just when I was going with my brother there in 2008, going out to Lyon, and I can remember that most of the papers were writing us off going out there just because of the talent that Lyon had. But it just shows you, like, when you raise your game and on this big stage, what results you can shock people with. I mean, like that night, I mean, Lee McCulloch, Cousins turning and hit, and then DeMarcus Beasley breaking away and scoring that goal. I mean, you would never write it like that. There was got to be an absolutely like demolition of Leon that night. I mean, and I think tomorrow, I think it's a cracking game for the players to really test themselves, because I was hearing, like, obviously earlier on, that the manager's saying that Leon is a Champions League team, and they are. Where they're sitting, I don't think reflects where they are as a team, as a club. But I think it'll be a great test for us, the Morocks.
Aye, I would definitely take a Bridgman, GB. I would definitely take a Bridgman. Linda?
Yeah, a 1-0 would do me as well. How you doing, Gary? I don't know. I keep thinking, is there going to be loads of goals, and are we going to maybe come out and top maybe 4-2 or something like that? And we were kind of just talking about it as a family, and it'll probably end up being a cagey 1-0, but hopefully to us. I don't know if it's going to be more of an open game, Gary, just because of the sort of style of the two teams. But let's hope that, as I said earlier, we don't give any sort of silly goals away or anything like that, and we're quite tight at the back. And if we happen to get beat with a worldie goal or a brilliant team goal, then, there's not a lot you can do about that. But I just hope that we can bring our A game, because we've not really got out of second gear yet, haven't we not?
No, Linda, it has been a kind of stop-start season, I would say. I think when we look back to the pre-season game that we played Leon, I think it was last season, is that right?
Right.
We seem to go in there with a good flow of football, and that was early days in the pre-season for Rangers. Barisic was bang on form that game as well. So, like I said, tomorrow night, confidence again for St Johnstone's game. You're looking as if we're going to end up scraping a draw that game, and then the next minute we show our quality, and Tav obviously bangs that goal away. So again, that maybe just gives the team another lift. And like I say, what better challenge for them to be playing against top players tomorrow night at Ibrox? I mean, the crowd is going to be absolutely pivotal for them. And the whole atmosphere, I think, sometimes helps Rangers. And like Linda said there as well, the team, these are two teams that are going to play nice football. I think you're going to see probably the best of our attacks tomorrow night that we've probably not seen all season.
Because there's space, mate.
Aye. Yep, definitely.
Well said. Alex, what's your thinking for the lineup tomorrow night, mate?
That's a good one. McGregor, Tavernier. I'm glad that Connor Golson's going to be playing. Big Balogun and Big Bonner. Stevie Davis. Kamara. It's a bit of a dilemma here now, whether to play a Rebo in there. If I play a Rebo in there, I would just go that the front three would be Roof, Morelos and Kent. But I've got a funny feeling, I might be wrong here, but I think Lundstram might play in there, middle of the park. And I think he may play a Rebo up in the right wing and maybe put Roof on the bench. I've got a funny feeling Lundstram playing the middle of the park.
Interesting. GB, interesting. Then the Bridge.
Alex, do you know, I've been talking about Lundstram, and I'm dying for this boy to gaze that same game he gave us in the Real Madrid game. I thought he was brilliant that game. He had pace, power, and everything, and it was good to have that kind of anchor man there as well. So tomorrow night, if he can produce a performance like that, it will help us a lot, mate. I personally think that Gerrard will go with the tried and tested again, just purely because I think it will be like Glenn Kamara, Davis, Aribo, and then you'll have Roof, Kent, and Alfredo up front. That's why the only change, I think.
Oh, it'll be interesting. Bridgeman, you've banged the drum for Lundstram. You've been a bit of a lone wolf, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, well, look, we don't know how he's going to go in a Rangers team. The wee bits that I've seen him, there's been lots of good in it, and sometimes they've been pretty poor because of the sending offs and things like that, So we can do without all that nonsense. The man's wasn't quite 100% fit, in my opinion, and that it's inevitable when you get somebody that plays the way he does, they're going to make mistakes when they're doing these things. So we need him to come to the game, fully fit, go on with it, and do the business and show us what he's got. And then once you see what he's got, then I make no apologies for it. I want to see him on our team. I don't know where the manager's going to play him, but I want to see him in our team as quickly as possible because I think he's got qualities that we don't have at the moment. That's my thoughts. Obviously, I could be proven wrong after 4 or 5 games. You make your mind up and think, nah, it's not for us, But seriously, at the moment, I quite like him.
Wonder?
Yeah, I think when we signed him, Ox, I didn't expect him to be somebody that sat on the bench and came on for like 10 minutes in a game. I thought he was going to be somebody that we could trust to play a full game. It just depends, obviously, on the formation. So eventually he's going to have to surely get his chance again because these players can't play 50, 60 games. So I would be quite happy if he played tomorrow night. I think it will depend on whether Gerrard feels as if he can trust him, and as Brad said as well, what's his match fitness like now? So I'm hoping that he does start hitting the ground running because I'd be really disappointed if he only ended up being a player that came on for 10 minutes of a game just so that we can see a game out. I fully expected him to be a starter, maybe not every game, but certainly more starts than he has made already.
Yeah, but you're out there, Bridget. You having an argument with your missus?
No. That was somebody's dog. I thought it was Alec who wished to shout at his dog.
That was me. That's it. It was my dog there. I was sorry about that.
And by the way, you sound alike. You sound like your dog.
His name's Alfie.
Oh, you're joking.
Mrs. G's going to kill me for saying that.
Listen, Alec, his name's Alfie. What kind of dog is it?
Oh, it's a golden Labrador.
Oh, golden Lab. Good on you, pal.
Oh, dear.
They clearly wasn't happy with the points made.
I wasn't happy with you.
Alfie didn't agree with me, Bill.
Should put the dog on a bit more often, I'll tell you.
I can do that, no bother.
Some people say something like you're batting up the rank T-Bridge.
Oh, and many a time I've done that. As it turns out.
No, it's quite what you call it. It's a good debate about the selection of the team there. Everybody's got their own ideas. I agree with Linda there. He's definitely been bought here to play. He's not been bought to, what do you call it, to be sitting on the bench, I don't think. His fitness levels have certainly not been great, and the performances. But there's something about the guy. I just think that there's a player in there, and this may be the game tomorrow night to bring it to the fore. Because I think he's a good cover up for Tavernier as well. Because when Tavernier's got to be bombing up these wings tomorrow, I think maybe Lundstrom in here could be.
Oh,
it could be a good ploy.
All right, I'll cut across you. We've been joined by Ian for YouTube. How we doing, Ian?
I'm all right. How good?
Good to speak to you, mate. Everything all right in your world? What's on your mind, mate?
Tomorrow night's game. I'm just wondering what you thought of it. I know you have probably spoke about it. I'll miss some of it.
No, that's all right. You carry on, mate.
Their big defender being out and Dembele not playing. If you think that would give us that wee bit of an edge.
I don't. I think it helps us. I don't think it makes us strong favourites. Linda, then GB.
No, I don't think so. I think they were talking about Dembele, and obviously he's had a good start to the season, Ian. I think he's been banging in the goals, and maybe it's just history in terms of how he's played against us. But we're a different team now. But the thing about that is that they've got other players that are good as well, Ian. They've paid a lot of money for some of their players. So I don't think we can be too focused on the fact that Dembele won't be playing. Obviously, it is kind of a boost if you want to say that. But they've got other good players and they've got a cracking squad. So, as I say, I wouldn't think too much about that. But I just think we need to focus on what we do. and hopefully we'll get moments of quality and we can maybe punish them a wee bit.
I quite agree with you, but they're not doing that great in the league.
No, they're not, but we might be sitting top of the league, but we're not pulling up trees. GB.
Aye, but we're winning games though.
Aye, we have.
Whether it's ugly or good or bad, we are winning.
We've no lost for 6 games. We've won the last 5 games of them. GB.
Ox. I think the 2 players getting missing for Lyon. I mean, Dembele. I think any team losing a top striker is going to be a boost for us. But it doesn't take away the quality of the team. But Rangers seem to excel themselves at being the kind of underdogs in this tournament. They love being. I don't know, when we were going to Benfica and all that, I think some of the games we should have had a couple of goals up on them, but it was just sometimes a wee bit of lackadaisicalness at the back that we leaked a goal or whatever. But I think, especially Big Alfie up front, I think he loves this competition, and I think this is going to be, if he's again still fishing for this move or whatever, then this is the stage that he wants to perform on. And I think the Moira Knight's a perfect game. I mean, playing against, like I say, a Champions League team is a great level to test yourself at.
Alex?
Absolutely. I totally agree. We've got great experience now in these games. We've played that. We've been playing now for the last 4 seasons. We've qualified, so great experience. Discipline's a big thing in these games as well. That you don't really call it rush into tackles and give silly fouls and that, because these teams can punish you with free kicks and that, and that. But I'm definitely confident with the crowd behind us in that, and the players going there and they give it all, we can certainly get some sort of result.
I think Europe brings the best out in Rangers.
Well said, Ian. Well said, Ian. Aye.
I think it brings the best to them because they're up against great teams and they go there to prove that we're no mugs and we're a great team, and that's when we show what we are. We are a great team, and it gives. We're always getting as the underdogs for some reason. I don't know why, but we have taught clubs over the last 2 seasons a few lessons on how to play football in Europe. Do you know what I mean? And these guys have been big names as well, and we've beat them. And they've sat back and went, wow, didn't think Rangers could do that. And I think the whole of Europe's scared of now.
But wouldn't it be a team that teams in form would want to play, particularly Ibrox, Linda? We've no lost since Gerrard came in.
No, and probably...
Oh, sorry. In the group stages, obviously, Leverkusen and Slavia Prague, yeah?
Yeah, I think the group, we've not lost a game in the group box. No, I think you're right on that. And obviously, since Gerrard came in, what we have just sort of gradually rebuilt a reputation. And when that job is getting made, teams wouldn't want us in their group.
No.
But wouldn't they not, Ian? And I think you're right, the best performances, because in Gerrard's first 2 seasons, we couldn't see out the league campaign, but we were certainly, like, our best performances came in Europe. And then obviously last season we did it in the league and Europe, which was absolutely brilliant. So I'm looking for them to kick on, and when we start playing the 2 games a week as well, I think the players like that too. And then
I think sorry.
No, I was just going to say, obviously, I think they like to be playing the 2 games a week as well, you know, and it keeps them ticking over. So let's hope the performances start to improve as well, you know, and, you know, we've started to win games, but we want the performances as well, you know.
See, that, I was going to agree with you there with the 2 games a week, the Europe and then the weekend league game. That brings the best out in the team because they're dying to get back into another match. Whereas this lay off for a while, or maybe being out of Europe, things like that, you get too much time to kind of think about it and think about the matches, and it doesn't bring the best out of them sometimes. Plus, a lot of these teams in Scotland like to bring double-decker buses where them battle in front of the 18-yard block range.
Well said, Ian. Well said, mate. Well said.
Aye, I mean, They're fair to play against Rangers. Come on, face it. They know they'll get hammered if they come out. They've got to park the bus, and we find it hard to break them down. And then all the fans go on their back, and it's not the players' fault. It's hard to break down a brick wall. And then when we did get a win against St Johnstone, I mean, that was amazing, especially Tav's winning goal. And I just think we finally broke down a team that we could never probably have done a couple of seasons ago.
Well said, Ian. Well said. Aye, it's a good point you make, about what we face in Scotland. It's not a great watch at times. GB.
Ian, you do make a great point, mate, about the St Johnstone game. I think that's a great away game to get out the road for Rangers.
Aye.
I mean, and to be honest, like getting that 2-1 win, coming back for 1-0 down, like you say, a couple of seasons ago, that's basically a game lost for us away. Yep. So we came back as a team. Like I says, wasn't Tav's goal was class. It was as a team that we got that win. And again, this galvanises us going into tomorrow night. Like I says, underdogs probably, and like I say, the team eager to show their skills. I mean, you've got guys in that team like Tav who will have family watching, they'll have like friends watching and all the rest of it on this stage. So they do want to impress, and like I says, if they've got any ambition to move on to bigger teams, then they've got to kind of perform on this stage, or else they'll just get passed by. So for me, they've got nothing to lose but everything to gain for tomorrow night.
I quite agree with you. And I think it'll be a good footballing match. Tactical, and I'm confident. There's lots of times when I wasn't confident before last season, but last season I was confident every match we went into. And even though we've dropped a couple of points this season, I'm still confident that we can win more games than anybody in this league. And I'm confident that we can do great in Europe and maybe even get this year to the last 8 at least.
A good point.
I think we're that good.
Good points you make. I mean, obviously, first of all,
before I get through half.
You're all right, mate. You're all right. You just sit there. You're fine. Isn't Alex? It's always great to hear from you, isn't it?
Great. Great comments there. That's right enough. The St Johnstone game, okay, albeit we probably never played that well, but we came back for a goal down, and that's a hard venue up there. And you win 2-1. It just shows you the character of the team. And the way we play, European football is what these guys want to play in. So the group itself, it's achievable to get out of that group. This is just one of the number of teams that we're going to have to play. They came up with the big hitters in that, Leo, and much money they've spent. But that means nothing on the night. When Rangers go to the sleeves rolled up, by the way, with that fan base behind them, I'm really confident we can really turn this around tomorrow.
I think we can win, and I'll just leave it at that. And
I hope you're right. Before you go, Ian, give your mates a shout out. Go and give them a shout out.
I'll give a wee shout out to RFC, Kim. I'm trying to remember who else, because I'll need to write it down a bit of paper for now. I've actually got a notepad at the side of my bed.
YouTube, and shout out all your mates in YouTube. That'll cover it for you, yeah?
Every one of them that knows me on the channel. Every one of them.
GB, he shouted out to his mates and they had a party for him. It was in a telephone box in Hamilton.
Aye, and he was the only one in it.
Oh, you know him, do you?
Aye.
the conga down to the palace, the Hamilton Palace.
The conga, is that what they call it when you do it on your own? I thought it was called something else. Right, great to hear from you, and great to hear from you.
Thanks a lot.
Anytime you like, mate, alright?
Right, Thanks a lot for letting us on again.
No problem, mate. Cheers.
Right. Good night, lads. Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Good night, pal.
Night.
It's turning into the Waltons.
I was going to say. Right, Jim Bob.
Good night, Alex.
Good night, Mary Ellen.
Oh dear. If I said it before when Ian's been on, Alex, and then I'll go to Linda. If he's know what Rangers Radio is about, I don't know what it is.
Fantastic fella, just listening to him. Straight for the heart. Like Amanda as well. The goal, we're all Rangers fans, you know. Okay, we might have different opinions on that, how the team should be and how they should play, but the main thing is, it's all for the love of the club. And that's what it's about. It's great hearing people like that. I respect everybody's opinion because it's great. That's what it's about.
Mm-hmm. Wonder he's got all these underlying health problems and he just loves our club.
Yeah, that's right. I've heard them on before, Ox, and he's got all the wee group on YouTube, and I think it's the same ones that listen every night, and they've got their own wee sort of fan base, you know, and there's lots of good chat and that. So it's a brilliant platform that Rangers Radio gives them, you know, to get together every night. But Ian particularly, yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah. And by the way, Bridgeman says, never mind the likes, just send in checks.
Bridge.
Oh dear.
That's brilliant.
Yes, it's all about, and fair play to all the boys and girls in YouTube who look after Ian. He loves it, and he loves it because of using that web on YouTube. And obviously, it's all part of the Rangers Radio family. And thanks a lot for looking after him. We really appreciate it, and the people who moderate it in there, Tracy and Kim, and all the people on Facebook as well. They do a fantastic job. And geez, I get sent a list of the women that are on there one night. Fox even joined up. There was that many women in it. You know what I mean? It was fantastic. It's great. It's great to see such diversity, you know, and people in talking about our club. Fantastic. Gee, what are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at that one about Fox.
You know me. Or if you want,
excuse me,
you've always got our own lobby at www.rangersradio.online, where there's a whole lobby set up for you to sit there and chat to fellow Rangers supporters. What a sight we've got GB in it.
It's social media heaven, Ox. That's what it is. You can get soaked up in it. Again, that's how I found you. It was through your Facebook page. So
you never fund me.
Oh no! Hey, by the way, you're still 007 to me, boy.
Brilliant. Right, what's the score going to be tomorrow night, Linda?
I'm going for Rangers a 2-1 win with an Alfie double.
Ooh, what do you think of that, Alex?
That would do me. Perfect result. I'll just settle for any victory. Any victory, that's all.
I didn't even know Alex's dog was playing.
Uh-huh.
Oh dear. I'll tell you what. I'll take a Bridgeman. There you go, Bridgeman.
And I'm with you. I'm a Bridgeman as well. There you go.
It'd be nervy, but I'd take a Bridgeman. GB.
I'm going to go the same as what Under says. I think it's got to be a 2-1 and what up for Rangers.
Right, I hope you're right. Well, Linda, we've reached that time of the evening. What'd you make of that?
Oh, really enjoyed it, Ox. Great discussions, and you know, we just want Rangers to give us a great result tomorrow night. But really enjoyed the show, and it was nice getting some callers in there and getting some views. So yeah, enjoyed it.
Yeah. Alex.
Oh, fantastic show again. As I say, just a credit to you guys. I just love listening in everybody's opinion and that. And as I say, look forward to tomorrow and take another scalp off another European team.
Yeah. GB, me and you'll be back tomorrow night, won't we? 7 o'clock?
Will do, mate. Broadcasting live, mate.
Yep. Broadcasting live. It's over to you, Bridgeman.
Oh, what can we say? I've only got one more sleep before I see my team. That's what I'm thinking. One more sleep. So please make it a good one.
Good sleep.
Some energy. Huh?
A good sleep.
I need a good sleep, man, because I get very nervous all the way up to these games, you know. So what can I say? This is a fabulous opportunity for every one of our players to go out and show them what we can do and show the world what we can do. We're at Ibrox, nothing to worry about. Just go out and do it. Play a game. Just play a game. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one is, please, huge game, biggest game of the season tomorrow. So everybody, keep it going for the Rangers. Shout it out loud. Keep it going.
Well, can I thank Amanda Urian for YouTube, as we call him. Thanks, Ian. Always a pleasure to hear from you. And Amanda, of course, and Alex for joining us. GB, who popped in to say hello. He's back with us tomorrow night, doing the pre-match show. Thanks to Linda and Bridgeman, and particularly Linda, for their lovely gifts for the holiday. Me and Bridgeman really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. I don't know if Fox is happy with his, but there you go. You can't please everybody. Thanks for listening. Stay safe. Everybody going to the game tomorrow night. Really enjoy the ball game. We'll be back tomorrow night with a pre-match show at 7 o'clock talking about tomorrow night's game. Take it away. All School Blue.
I'll sail the wide Atlantic, cross the broad Pacific shore. I'll sail around the stormy capes, I've heard the parties roar. I fly the Indian Ocean, I've sailed the China Sea. Well, there's a sea back home in Scotland, means more than all the rest to me. It's the blue, yes, the blue sea of my brow. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, yes, the blue sea of my brow. And it happens when the orange beat the green. No more I'll sail the seven seas, no more I'll ever roam. No more I'll feel the urge again, I'm back where I belong. At 3 o'clock each Saturday, I'll join a happy throng with Rangers banners all around. We'll proudly sing this song. It's the blue, yes, the blue sea of my brow. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, yes, the blue sea of my brow. And it happens when the orange beat the green. It's the blue, yes, the blue sea of our brow. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, yes, the blue sea of our brow. And it happens when the orange beat the green. the